What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are about to break down this entire baseball slate for this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I am going to be giving you guys a slip today. It's a 5.88 slip over on the Chalkboard app. I do want to say, if you guys have not signed up for Chalkboard, I have been killing these plays, specifically like this one, which I'm going to give you guys. It's $150 to pay out right at $900. We ended up cashing one yesterday. It was $150 to pay out $930, which I'll show you guys here in just a second. So make sure you guys stick around to the end. I'll have this slip. I'm going to give you guys some of my favorite money lines for today, as well as some potential pitcher props if you guys do want to run them. But let's go ahead and look at some of our wins from yesterday. So this is yesterday's slate that I cashed on. A lot of these are money lines. Here's that Chalkboard slip that I was talking about. It's $150 to pay out $921. I had Martin Perez with Yamamoto, both for a pitcher win. This was a 6.14x that ended up cashing us out. Now, the ladder challenge I gave you guys yesterday. If you've been following the ladder challenge on my Instagram, which you guys can join with, it's at Ryan Fantasy Aces on Instagram. I don't know why it's not showing at the bottom of the screen. Hold up. There we go. So we got that back now. So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it is at the bottom right-hand corner, which I just got to pop up. For whatever reason, it was hidden. But anyways, I am posting a ladder challenge every single day. My ladder challenge yesterday was the Braves plus 1.5. Now, in my video, I said you can take the Braves plus money to win this game, that I thought they were going to win. So if you ended up doing that, which I know a few people did, you ended up cashing out pretty big at plus money on the Braves. But this is the ladder. I had ended up splitting this ladder up, by the way, on Dicey and on Novig, if anybody's wondering why. I only had $850 in my Dicey account. I did not feel like going through the trouble to deposit another $150 in crypto. It's just a little bit more of a hassle than just like bank deposit or whatever. So I ended up just put $850 here, and then I put $150 on Novig just to kind of split it up. It was still a $1,000 ladder. The ladder challenge today will end up being right at $2,200 bet that we're going to play across these two platforms. But just wanted to throw that out there. It was the Braves plus 1.5, which you guys can see, and you can see Novig is going to be the best value. Cashed these two over on Sleeper. Cubs yesterday with the A's, $725 win and a $550 win over on the Sleeper app. And then this was my Aces play of the day. I ended up running the Brewers plus 1.5 with the Braves plus 2.5. It was minus 132. I ended up putting $2,500 on this on ThunderPick to pay out $4,400. So a nice little $2,000 win for the most part. I do want to say I got very lucky on the Brewers. There was a tie game. There was 3-3. I checked the score like 30 minutes later, and the Brewers are losing like 5-9 or something. I mean, it was complete butt whooping, and they ended up bringing it back. So shout out to the Brewers for cashing that slip, because I legitimately thought I lost $2,500 on that slip, but we ended up cashing it out. I do want to show our Bovada before we jump into these plays as well. This is Bovada. My dad. It's a quick disclaimer. I haven't been betting on Bovada lately. My dad plays the majority of his money lines on Bovada. If you don't know my dad is Fantasy Ace in the Discord. We run this together for the new ones out there that are watching. But yeah, this is his net activity. So he's up $16,000 on these money lines we have posted. This is the last 31 days. He's bet $113,000. Money out was $97,000. The net activity, which is the profit, his profit this month is $16,259 on Bovada. So if you guys are not playing these money lines, I'm telling you, you guys are missing out. He's been playing these plays of the days as well. He's been doing ladder challenges. Pops have been cashing out. The ladder challenge record right now is 9-2, and I post these every day in our VIP. If you guys want to join, the Discord itself is free. Links down in the description. If you want to join our WAP links in the description as well. And right now you can get code 30% off with code PLAYOFF. Now I will say, this is going to be the last day for this code for 30% off, and it's going back to 20%. So take advantage of this today if you have not already. Code PLAYOFF for 30% off our entire WAP. Connect your Discord to WAP, and you'll have access to every single play that I personally bet. With that being said, let's go ahead and break down this slate. I'm going to get this set up so I can just remove this box for the free slip here in just a minute. I'll put a link to the free slip here as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this slate. So you guys already know how I break down baseball. I always pull up RotoWire here. RotoWire is free to use if you guys want to try it out. You just go to MLB, and then you just click daily lineups. And I scroll down here, and I always look at pitching matchups. So you got some tough matchups here. Max Meyer versus Paul Skeens. Tough game to call. You got a lot of these games today, a lot of aces on the mound. So this is going to be a tough slate to call in terms of pitching matchups. We do have a couple of games with very high rain chances. Tigers and Guardians here with 71% chance. Arizona and Cincinnati here with a 52% chance. And that should be all the rain we have. So those are the only two games. But two games you really it's tough to bet on baseball with rain games. So we'll talk about those two games here in just a minute. But yeah, so everything so far, this is how I do this. Looks pretty good. Only two games we got to worry about. The rest of it is pretty much clear and safe. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about these games. Let's go ahead and have us a great day today over here on baseball. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention the Knicks, man. Congrats to the Knicks, a 4-1 dub over the Spurs. Spurs, I mean, man, they gave away a few games. I'm not discrediting the Knicks, but a 30-point win, they should have won when they were up 30. I mean, how do you throw that? A couple games that they just gave away as well. So, shout out to the Knicks. Played very good basketball. Most teams will give up when they're down 30, and the Knicks come back and dominated. So, yeah, that's the new champs, the Knicks. Congrats to them. I like that team a lot actually, but yeah, I like the Spurs too. I honestly thought the Spurs were gonna win, but anyways. Wanted to get that off my chest before we go ahead and break these games down, because you can't not talk about the finals. You know, I didn't bet on the finals yesterday in terms of I didn't make a video, and I played a couple player prop slips, but I didn't put money on the Spurs myself. So, anyways, let's talk about the Marlins and the Pirates right here. So we got the Pittsburgh Pirates minus 145. They're at home today. Obviously, they're favored here. Looking at these two teams, the Marlins have been a very hot team. Let's talk about this Marlins team, because yesterday I was in one of those spots where I kind of wanted to bet on the Marlins, but I didn't trust them enough. Bubba Chandler was on the mound. The Pirates are a pretty good team at home, and I was like, I don't trust betting against the Marlins, because they've won 80% of their last 10, and I really don't like betting against teams that are this hot. But at the same time, I didn't want to bet against the Pirates either, because the Pirates have been a pretty decent team this season as well. So ended up fading that game. My pick for that game yesterday was Miami. But taking a look at this, you got the Pirates. Both these teams right at 500 on the season. Pirates at home, 53% chance. Marlins on the road, 38% win chance or percentage. Looking at the two pitchers on these games, we have Paul Skeens versus Max Meyer. So you got two very good pitchers. Skeens is 6-5 with a 2.84 ERA, whereas Max Meyer is 6-0 with a 2.85. So he has yet to lose a game this season. Max Meyer has been crushing it, and that's pitcher wins. That is not team wins. So yes, Max Meyer, the game could be 0-0 when he gets pulled. Their team loses after he gets pulled, and that's not going to be a loss on his record. So just throwing that out there. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying the Marlins are undefeated within the game. They might be. We can take a look here. We can do starting pitcher. We can do Max Meyer. Yeah, they only won 2 of the 6 games. So that's just showing you guys that. But anyways, taking a look at these hitters versus these two pitchers. So right-handers versus the Marlins. The Marlins have been decent versus right-handed pitchers. Not anything crazy here, but they've been pretty good. Versus Paul Skeens. Skeens, one of the best pitchers in the league. It's arguable, but I don't think it is, to be honest. Taking a look, they haven't seen him very many times. Paul Skeens probably going to have a very good game. Same thing for Pittsburgh versus Max Meyer. They haven't seen him very many times. A couple of guys had some hits off of him. Ozuna here, Reynolds here. But to me, like, Max Meyer is probably going to have a very good game. Pirates versus right-handed pitchers. Very good versus righties. Very good stats that you like to see here. And if you look at this, you got 12.8 mile per hour winds blowing out and to the left on a 107 park factor. So this is going to be a hitter-friendly park with winds blowing outward, which is going to be very, very tough on a pitcher. Now, the thing is, we got two very good pitchers, two aces on the mound. So for me, this is I still think both guys pitch well, but you could realistically see some runs given up here. It's a tough game to call. I don't have a pick for this. If I had to pick, I'm going to be honest with you, even if Paul Skeens is on the mound, I don't mind taking Miami at plus 144. I think the odds here are worth a shot. If not, maybe Miami plus 1.5. The Pirates very well could win this game, but to me, this is a coin flip game, and I just don't want to take a Pirates team at minus 145 that I think is coin flip. So I'd probably run the Marlins here if I had to bet on this game. But like I said, I had the Marlins yesterday, and they got smacked. So, I mean, trust your gut on that one. Game number 2 on the slate is going to be the Padres versus the Orioles. You got Baltimore right now, minus 122 favorites at home. Taking a look at these two teams, 40% win rate for the Padres over their last 10, 50 for the Orioles. Neither team super hot right now. Padres are over 500 this season. Orioles are not. Orioles and Padres both sitting at a 55% win rate on the road and at home, respectively, for these two teams. Now, the Padres have only won one of their last, 7 games, so they've been a little bit cold. But before that, they were very hot. So very, very streaky team. Beat the Baltimore last game 9-3. You got Trevor Rogers versus Walker Buehler. Buehler here with a 4.33. Trevor Rogers with a 6.15 ERA. Both these pitchers are pretty bad. Don't trust Buehler, but I trust Buehler more than I do Trevor Rogers right now. Take a look at San Diego versus lefties. They have not been good versus left-handed pitchers. They struggle. Versus Trevor Rogers, it's kind of split data, but honestly, there's not very many batters that's seen him. So this is one of those, Trevor Rogers could come out here and have a good game. You never know. Versus Walker Buehler, the Orioles have been good. They've hit off of him pretty well, and there's a decent amount of data to go off of. Versus right-handed pitchers, Orioles have been great. They've smacked right-handed pitchers. Baltimore's right at minus 125. Playing at home, it's obviously going to be a pretty hitter-friendly park. You got 14-mile-per-hour winds blowing out. This is a game that's probably going to be pretty high scoring. This is a game that some damage can be done on both sides. Based off of how these teams have hit versus right and left-handed pitchers, I honestly lean the Orioles here. I do. Based off of teams, I like the Padres team better. So it makes me want to bet the Padres at plus 123. I know that sounds stupid, and it could be stupid, but my mind tells me to take the Padres here, even though the data to me points to the Orioles. So I'm kind of like, what I think is going to happen versus what the data says for me is kind of split. It's making it tough on me. So I don't know which one of these teams I would bet on right now. If I had to pick, I'm probably just going to trust my gut because it's plus money and just take the 122. But I will say Baltimore probably has a pretty good chance at winning this game. Trevor Rogers can have good games. He's been bad, but he could have a good game here. You never know. Both these teams probably going to get lit up. You got a 9.5 point or 9.5 run total right now. So tough game to call. Give me the Padres here. Very, very, very unconfident Padres pick. I will not be betting on the Padres or the Orioles here. This is not a game I'm putting money on. If I was taking a guess, though, I'm taking an educated guess and just taking the Padres. That's what I'm going to say there. Mariners, Nationals. So you got Seattle right now favored on the road versus Washington. Minus 132 favorites right here. Neither of these teams super hot right now. Both teams winning close to 50% of their last 10. Both teams sitting at a 51% win rate on the season. The Mariners at a 49% win rate on the road, whereas the Nationals at home have not been a good team. This is game 3 of this series. Seattle lost yesterday. It was an 8-3 victory for the Nationals. The game before that, they won 10-2. Right now, you have Miles Mikolas on the mound versus Emerson Hancock. Hancock has a 2.74 ERA and 95.95 WHIP, whereas Mikolas with almost a 6 ERA and a 1.34 WHIP. So right now, Hancock definitely the better pitcher here. Definitely trust him more. Taking a look at Seattle versus right-handed pitchers, one of the strongest teams in the league versus right-handed pitchers. They dominate righties, them and the Brewers both. Miles Mikolas is a guy he's not a good pitcher, and he's got lit up by this lineup for the ones that seen him. Emerson Hancock hasn't seen this offense very many times, which benefits the pitcher. They haven't hit well off of him the one game they did see him versus righties. Kind of split down the middle here for the Nationals. You got a hitter-friendly park, 13-mile-per-hour winds blowing out. This could be a high-scoring game. In a game like this, in a game where the weather and the park is going against the pitchers, to me, you got to run with the better pitcher. And I say that because you have a good pitcher versus a bad pitcher. If both these pitchers were mediocre, it wouldn't matter as much. But when you have a good pitcher like Hancock versus Miles Mikolas, this screams Miles Mikolas gets lit up to me. So I like Seattle here. I really like Emerson Hancock here. I like Emerson Hancock for a win. I think he gets that win today, which is going to be one of the plays that I ran on that chalkboard slip I was showing you. So I got Emerson Hancock for a win here. 5-2 right now on the season. I think he ends up 6-2. Not going to play his pitching outs or anything, probably just because what are his outs line at? We can take a look here. So 16.5. He has a leash of around 91.4 pitches, around 91 pitches per game average on the season. Decently long leash, a guy that you could probably get. I wouldn't mind taking him at 16.5, or if you can get him at 14.5, that would be the better line. I would love to see a 14.5 line. If you could aud it down, that's the line I would take. 16.5 is plus money to go over, so you're not going to get super good value here. You can see it's plus 119, or I don't mean super good value, but you're getting good odds here if you play it, but it's risky is what I meant to say. But anyways, I like Emerson Hancock today. If you can get him for 15 pitching outs, I don't mind that at all. I like his pitcher win a lot, and I think the Mariners win this game. I will have money on Seattle today, so that's going to be a money line I'm going to run. Yankees versus Blue Jays. This is going to be a game where the Yankees are favored on the road. Minus 118 favorites to be exact. They've won 6 of their last 10. The Blue Jays have won 5 of their last 10. You got Patrick Corbin up against Warren here. Warren with a 3.41 ERA, 7-1 on the season. Toronto 2-3 with Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin is 2-3 with a 4.55 ERA. Yankees obviously the better team on the season so far. Yankees have been hot right now. They've won 5 of their last 6. But you have to understand, Aaron Judge is out still. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Judge is still out. It says 10-day injury, whatever. But anyways, no Judge kind of turns me away from the Yankees as much or a little bit more than it normally would for sure. But I do still like this Yankees team. Patrick Corbin's not been very good. 6.75 ERA is only game this season versus the Yankees. Taking a look at this, Yankees versus lefties, decent. You got a lot of at-bats here. Decent amount of data here. Not really terrible, but not amazing. A little bit better than the 50% that we usually see. You got Patrick Corbin here versus the Yankees. He's got lit up by a lot of these guys, and he's seen them a lot. When hitters have seen a pitcher this many times, they get a lot of data to go off of. They know how these pitchers pitch. They have lit him up. I see Patrick Corbin getting lit up again today. Looking at Toronto here versus Will Warren, they've seen him not very many times. You got 2 at-bats for most of these guys, but they've hit pretty well off of him. Versus right-handed pitchers, Toronto looking just as good as the Yankees do versus lefties. So in terms of matchup here, versus righties versus lefties, it's not any better for either team. I will say this looks better versus Patrick Corbin than it does versus Will Warren, but that's only one game, so there's not much data for Will Warren here. So based off the 2 teams, I like the Yankees team better. Yankees definitely have lit up Patrick Corbin here. You're looking at a dome stadium, so you don't have to worry anything about rain. There's a 99% chance of rain, so this game is going to be retractable roof. Roof's going to be closed. There's not going to be any rain here. We're good to go. 6.9 or 7 mile per hour winds blowing inward to the right, so this is going to be which stadium's closed, doesn't really affect it, so we ain't got to look at wind or anything really that right now. But anyways, give me the Yankees here. I think the Yankees win this game. I think you could run Will Warren for a win. I think that's a little bit more risky. It's probably around a 3x if you wanted to take it. I have not played it yet, but I am debating it. Like the Yankees to win this game, though, at minus 118. I'm going to have some money on the Yankees. Yankees and Mariners, 2 teams that I will be taking today. Tigers versus Guardians. This is a game that has a lot of rain chance, but it's honestly a game that I'm probably throwing money on. So let's talk about this one. Cleveland minus 107 at home. Tigers have won 60% of their last 10 games. Guardians have won 40. The Tigers have lost back-to-back games versus the Guardians, 1-3 and 2-3. So very, very close games here. The Guardians on the season, 54% win rate. Tigers 41. Put the Tigers on the road, 30% win rate on the road. Very, very bad road team, whereas the Guardians have been pretty strong at home. So, Guardians teams have Gavin Williams on the mound versus Casey Mize. Mize with a 2.27 ERA. Pretty sure Mize is coming off of an injury. Gavin Williams here with a 3.32 with 12 games pitched so far, or 12 wins anyway. 12 on his record. 9 wins, 3 losses. You got a 1.1 whip over here versus a 0.97. Casey Mize is a pretty good pitcher. He has his games that he does bad, but he has been good in those few starts he had this season. Detroit versus righties haven't been that good versus Gavin Williams. A lot of data, but they've sucked versus Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams has been a great pitcher versus this Tigers team. Cleveland versus Casey Mize, seen him quite a few times, have sucked versus Casey Mize. Versus righties, they look about that 50-50 chance. So neither of these teams are probably going to put up big numbers today, I will say that. You got 11.4 mile per hour winds blowing to the right. You got 71% chance of precipitation. You can take a look at the bullpens in this game. The bullpens right now for the Guardians, you can see pitch count for the last 3 and pitch count for the last 5 games. So we're going to look at last 3 games. You can see a lot of these guys haven't thrown any pitches. So you're looking at some of these better bullpen pitchers with, a couple of them have low ERAs, a couple of them over 4 and over 5. But don't dislike this the look of the bullpen right now. You look at Detroit here, last 3 here, you can see pitch count. They got a lot of them that haven't thrown a pitch either. But you got some okay pitchers here for the bullpen. So neither bullpen looks amazing, but neither of them look terrible either to me right now. So we'll see what happens. I like the Guardians here. I do lean Cleveland at home. I think they've obviously been the better team so far this season. Yes, the Tigers have been hot, but they have some stretches where they just lose so many games in a row. And I think this is a spot where Gavin Williams can get another win. I like Gavin Williams here, or not Gavin Williams. I do like Gavin Williams, but I like the Guardians here more. So probably going to throw some money on the Guardians myself, a team that I like. Braves versus Mets. So the Braves, once again, plus money. Plus 106, plus 1.5 if you run them on the spread. Braves have won 6 of their last 10. I've been getting the Braves are getting some slander on Instagram, man. I play the Braves. People are like, yeah, the Braves suck right now. You can't play the Braves. Listen, dude. The Braves have won 6 of their last 10. The Braves suck right now, and you look at them, they've won I think there was 5 of their last 6 before the last 3 losses. Yeah, they lost 3 in a row. A couple of these games were flukes. One game versus the White Sox where they're up 4-0 and they just lose the game with a walk-off homer. That's the one that chalked our ladder challenge. So a couple of games the bullpen just gave it up. The Braves, I'm a Braves fan. I'm not just being biased. I mean, I guess I am kind of biased on this, but I don't see where people are saying the Braves suck right now. Look at this. How can you even say that? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, the Mets have been pretty decent lately compared to where they started this season. They started off the season very, very weak. Braves have won 66% of their games, 65% on the road. The Mets at home, 49% win rate. You got Freddie Peralta on the mound versus Bryce Elder. Bryce Elder has been a very, very good pitcher so far this season. He has definitely shocked me. I did not expect a season like this from Bryce Elder. I'm hoping he continues to do that. You got Freddie Peralta over for the Mets, for Peralta with a 4 ERA. Peralta really hasn't impressed me that much this season. He's looked pretty bad to me. Atlanta versus right-handed pitchers, they've been pretty decent versus righties. Seen Freddie Peralta quite a few times. You got some guys with 11, and Matt Olson here and Austin Riley here with 11 and 14 at-bats with over a 1 OPS here versus Peralta. I think Peralta struggles today. Now, the Mets versus Bryce Elder, they haven't seen him a lot, but the ones that have seen him, honestly, done pretty decent versus him. Versus right-handed pitchers, the Mets, around that 50-50, don't look terrible, but don't look great either. You got 13-mile-per-hour winds blowing out to the left, 99 park factor. It's going to be tough on the pitchers. I think Peralta gets shelled. Bryce Elder could get shelled too. I think Peralta just gets shelled. That's where I'm at here. I think that the Braves win this game outright. I think you can take the Braves for plus 1.5. I like the Braves a lot today. I'm going to run them. So you got the Braves for plus money here. Definitely going to run. Plus 108 is going to be your best value. I saw that just a minute ago. Plus 108. It says plus 106 here, but we'll see where the value is when I lock it in. I like the Braves. Give me the Braves to win this game. I'll also like Bryce Elder for the win. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show this slip. Oh, no. Okay. I was about to say, why can I not get rid of this box? So this is what I took. Took Emerson Hancock for a win, Bryce Elder for a win. It's a 2.8 for Bryce Elder, 2.1 for Hancock here. This is a very risky slip. I know a lot of people play home run slips. I don't play home run slips. I play win slips. That's my lottery slip. And the odds for a win are much higher than the odds for a home run. I like this a lot, man. I'm taking this shot here. 150 pays out $882. If you want to tell it, you can. It's on Chalkboard. Go sign up for Code Fantasy Aces on Chalkboard. You get a free month of VIP. You can do that with any app in the description as well. Just pick the one you want to sign up for that you don't have. Send me a DM on Discord, and I'll get you a free month. But that's what I'm running today. I'll go ahead and open this up in a new tab, and I'll show it again at the end of the video. But, yeah, that is going to be the slip that we ended up running. Let's talk about this Arizona game. We got quite a few games to go over. We'll probably skip over some of these games. Diamondbacks versus the Reds. We'll talk about this one. So you got Cincinnati plus money at home, plus 101. Very even odds. Neither team's been good lately. You got Andrew Abbott on the mound versus Zach Gallen. Two very, very bad pitchers in a spot where you got 11.4 mile per hour winds blowing to the left. It's going to be a hitter-friendly park in Cincinnati. Diamondbacks have been better this season slightly than the Reds. Diamondbacks on the road have been worse than the Reds at home. This is a coin flip game. It's a game where we can take a look at the hitter matchup here versus lefties. This lineup hasn't been good. Versus Abbott, they've been very good. Versus Zach Gallen, they have not been good. Versus right-handed pitchers, they've been very good. So I lean the Diamondbacks here. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't trust Andrew Abbott. I don't trust Zach Gallen either. I think I trust the bats for the Diamondbacks a little bit more. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't love the Diamondbacks today. Not going to throw money on it, but that's my lean for this game. It's a tough game to call. Very coin flip. In Cincinnati, yeah, it could get ugly for both these pitchers. The run total is 9.5. I don't mind playing this at over 8.5. I think that cashes, but you can do what you want with that. Going to skip the Cardinals Twins. Great matchup here, Phillies Brewers. Tough game to call. Let's talk about this one because this one is two of the best pitchers in the league right now pitching against each other, and two teams that are very strong on the bats. So you got the Brewers right now, plus 109 at home. So Phillies are favored. Phillies won last night 9-8, lost game 1 0-6 0-6 versus the Brewers. They've won 7 of the last 10. They've been very hot. The Brewers have won 5 of their last 10. Phillies this season 54% win rate. Brewers 62. Brewers at home been slightly better than the Phillies on the road, but both these teams have been very, very good respectively in both those categories. You got Kyle Harrison on the mound versus Chris Sanchez. Sanchez is 8-2 this season with a 1.5 ERA. Chris Sanchez, man, breaking a record. Dude is just phenomenal right now. Dude has been so good. Averages 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. I mean, amazing pitcher. Hard to bet against. Same thing for Kyle Harrison. 2.72 ERA, 1.1 whip, 12 strikeouts almost per 9 innings. 7-1 on the seasons. One of those pitchers, like, When Kyle Harrison pitches, the Brewers win. But can they win versus Chris Sanchez? A game that I don't think is going to be super high scoring. You look at Phillies versus the lefties, they've been okay versus Kyle Harrison, not much data. Milwaukee versus Sanchez, they've actually been good versus Sanchez, not much data versus lefties, not looking too good. 15-mile-per-hour winds blowing out. This is what scares me. It is a retractable roof, but there's 0% chance of precipitation. The roof's probably going to be open, so you're going to have some wind value here coming in. Scares me a little bit. Don't know what to expect this game. This is going to be one of those games where you could probably run both pitchers for 6 innings and get and cash out with them. You never know. Tough matchup. I'm not betting against Chris Sanchez. I'm not betting against him. If I had to pick, I'd run the Phillies before I ran the Brewers here. Like, the way he's been pitching, man, there's no way in heck you're going to see me bet on the other side. So, tough game. Probably going to end up being a bullpen game, or a game where the bullpen decides the game. I think both these offenses are going to struggle against both these pitchers. If you get a good gust and a big hit that wouldn't normally be a homer, it could potentially become a homer. You never know, so that scares me a little bit too. Hit's going to be good with wind. Just a tough game overall to look at here. Probably not going to be a game I touch. Over 6.5 potentially here. I don't dislike that line, I'm going to be honest with you, just because of wind factor. But, yeah, I mean, the total is 6.5 for a reason because of the two pitchers. So I'm going to fade it. If I had to pick, give me the Phillies. Dodgers versus White Sox. Dodgers big favorites, minus 180. Tough to take the Dodgers on the road versus the White Sox. The White Sox have been very, very good at home this season with a 66% win rate. That's their first loss in 8 games. So they've been very, very good this season. You got Fed on the mound versus Sheehan. Sheehan been pretty bad, 4.7. Fed 4.7. Dodgers versus righties good versus Fed, not a ton of data. Versus Sheehan here, you got not much data versus righties, not very good. A game right here, 17-mile-per-hour gust blowing out, give me the Dodgers. I mean, I think the bats for the Dodgers are just so much. Obviously they're better bats. I mean, the White Sox have their games, but the Dodgers are just so good hitting the ball that I just don't see them not being able to get to Fed here, regardless. Even if the White Sox get to Sheehan here, I just don't see Fed being able to get through this game very far. So 17-mile-per-hour winds is the deciding factor for me. I think the Dodgers win this game. If I had to bet on this, probably just take either play the juice line, or you could just take the Dodgers minus 1.5. I don't mind that either. That's probably what I'm gonna bet on. But it is a tough game to call because the White Sox are a sleeper team. They're a team that can win this game, and betting against them sometimes is a big mistake because the odds you get for the White Sox are usually plus money. So that's all I'm gonna say here. So if you think the White Sox win, take the money. I'll take the plus money bet there. But I do think the Dodgers win this game. Going to fade Astros, Kansas City. Don't like that game. Going to fade the A's, the Rockies. Don't like that game. Same for the Cubs. I think the last game I'm going to talk about is going to be the Tampa Bay Angels game. So you got Tampa Bay minus 109 on the road versus the Angels. Neither team been super good over the last 10. I will say the Angels are on a 4-game win streak, so they're looking a little bit better. They've put the belt to Tampa Bay 2 games in a row. You have Rodriguez on the mound versus Lagumina, so I think I said his name right. 2 pitchers that I'm just not going to trust. This is a game with 8-mile-per-hour winds blowing out. It's a pitcher-friendly park. The Rays versus righties have been okay versus Rodriguez. Not so great, but not much data. Angels versus our boy Casey. They've been pretty good with the only game they have. And then versus righties, think Tampa Bay wins. Not betting against the Rays. I don't care if the Angels are hot right now or not. They're just not a very good team overall. I'm probably just running Tampa Bay today. I'm going to be honest with you for even odds. So, recap real quick. The teams that I like today. I like the Mariners. I like the Yankees. I like the Guardians. I like the Braves. And then if you scroll down, I like the Dodgers. Those are probably my favorite ones on the slate. Obviously, I gave some different looks for different games, but that's what I got for today, guys. If you want to see the slip I ran, Hancock and Bryce Elder, I've already showed it once, but figured I'd show it one more time. I ran this on chalkboard. Code Fantasy S is on chalkboard if you want to tell this. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys cash out. Go follow me on Instagram to get the ladder challenge, and I'll see y'all in the next video.